Hello and welcome to the Limitless Woman. I know you are here for a reason and you probably want to follow the rest of this 21-day blueprint. Go ahead and subscribe. You can click the button down below. And before we get into things, this is not teaching you how to close. This is teaching you how to become the woman who closes, okay? So we're talking everything. I want everyone to feel extra cozy, comfortable. I could be wearing a blazer and being all professional and whatnot, and I know you guys see me like that all the time, being that I am a high-ticket sales coach, but this is about embodying being that woman. All right, so let's get into this. This is phase 1, the awakening, and this is day 1. So we are going to be going over why corporate life is draining women, and it's not because you're weak. It's because you're in the wrong environment. So I was once in your shoes before. I was in corporate for 6 years, and I have a double major in marketing and finance. I had multiple internships during college. I was the person in high school who would leave early to go to be a CNA because I thought I wanted to be a nurse at the time. And I had gone into college being like, I don't really know why I'm going, but all I know is that I think that I have to go. And that was really the norm at the time because there wasn't these opportunities that there now are to make money online and to make money without having to go to college. College was necessary when information was scarce. Now, look at the internet. You're watching me right now. You're learning things right now. You could go probably find out, anything that you want on ChatGPT. Oh my gosh, I'm like literally gonna have a nip slip. No, we're not. Okay. And when I went to college, I literally had no idea what I was doing there. I just thought that that was what I needed to do in order to become anything, in order to get a job, in order to make money. I was sold really what everyone was programmed to think at the time was that you needed a college degree to be successful. But you get a degree to get a job, it's going to keep you broke. It's going to keep you in a cycle. That they're going to be teaching you like, hey, this is beneficial because you get insurance and you get a 401k. You see what I'm saying here? They want you to feel safe with them, so they give you these little perks like insurance and like a 401k, but everyone knows that 401k, by the time it appreciates, by the time you actually can retire, your whole life's done. You can only do things that you want to do during your 20s, your 30s, your early 40s. Once you hit 50, you're having different things happening, like where you just can't travel like how you wanted to. You can't just leave the kids behind like easily. Like you're not youthful anymore. It makes things a lot more difficult. So we're told all of these lies, essentially. Like I call it the corporate lie. And the thing is that now the way that the world has evolved, so many people are realizing like, hey, I don't need to go to college. I can learn a skill online and I can make way more money. There are 17-year-olds, and I personally know one that is making millions of dollars a year because they learned a skill online. So did the normal college route, went to school for 4.5 years because I got a double major in marketing and finance. I had the internships in college. I had 3 different internships, and in high school, I was literally leaving high school early to go be a CNA because I thought I was going to become a nurse at first. And yeah, so I was really all over the place. And then from there, I grew up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Go Packers. You'll hear it in my voice because I say my O's and my A's still really weird. I went to University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. From there, I started applying to jobs, and I literally have trauma from applying to jobs, and I know so many women do too, especially the women in my program. I applied to like 100 jobs in post-college, and it took me 4 months to land a role that was like somewhat legit. And I was applying to roles on LinkedIn and on Indeed, and I had like this solid-ass resume. And it just was not cutting it, apparently, or there's just, again, limited 9-to-5 jobs. They like promise you like, yeah, you go to college, you get degrees, and then you can get like a job. It's so easy. It's not, especially in this day and age, because I'll save this for another episode, but we'll talk more about AI. But I ended up getting this job in Chicago. I moved to Chicago, and I was commuting every single day. I was taking the train. So train in Chicago, a little scary, kind of fun at first. I was like, okay, this is kind of a vibe. And then I was in the office. The office was pretty sick. It was like downtown Chicago. in a high rise, and there was a barista on site, and it was fun like being around just a bunch of people that just graduated. Like we did like outings and stuff, but that really died down pretty quick, and I started becoming so unmotivated. I was cold calling. I was basically like a customer service rep because I was answering angry customers, and it was a tech company, so I had zero fulfillment in what I was doing. And I was making like a little under, like I was making like $3,400 a month or something like that. Like that was the consistency of it. And that's very little. That is ridiculously little for the amount of experience that I had and for the job I was doing. So $3,400 a month. Yeah. And I just became like so depressed. I ended up being in a really not so great relationship. I was just realizing that I was not living the life that I was supposed to be living, and that is why I was so miserable. I was not meant to work a normal 9 to 5. I was not meant to be told to go into an office, to commute, to work certain hours for little pay. Like it was just, so I thought at the time, I was like, okay, well, I have to be safe. Like I need to get another job that maybe this is just not the right environment, not the right job. I'm going to get something fully remote. So COVID hit, so I was remote then fully because we couldn't go into a freaking office in Chicago. And I was like, okay, well, now's the time for me to look for something else that's online. Like I have more free time. And so I ended up working for a logistics and freight company. I was so I was an account executive. So I was cold calling truck drivers all day, which was like, they don't vibe with me. So that was not fun. And got over that real quick, needed to get something else in under my belt. And so I ended up applying for the last 9 to 5 job that I had before I got into high ticket sales at a tech startup where at first I was doing cold calling, and they were like, you are not getting sales, but because I was like, what am I supposed to do? Dial 150 people a day that don't even want this text automation system for their business? Like, zero fulfillment. I was so over it. But I did build really great relationships with the people that I was talking with. The people that I did sell, they were like diehards. And so they were like, okay, well, we really like the way that you're able to build relationships, that you are able to communicate very well with these individuals. And so we're going to offer you a position as an account manager. So I said, okay, cool. Let me just shift gears into account management. So I ended up becoming a senior account manager because they moved me up. Highest position I could be at the company, and I was working alongside the director. Director was leaning on me for everything. I was salaried, keynote salaried, so I was working 40 hours a week, but I was actually working like 50 hours a week. I was getting calls all the time from the director. I was asked to do things that were outside of my job title. I was wearing like so many different hats in the company. And from there, I was like, what the actual fuck am I doing here? Like, full transparency. Let's just like, excuse my French. I am very French, by the way. So I maybe that's why I have a potty mouth. I don't know. Well, that's just my excuse. I'll just tell myself that. But anyways, so I was like, what am I doing here? I need to do something with my life. People were starting to make money online. It was becoming more and more apparent. TikTok was like blowing up at the time. This was like 2023. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try all these different things, right? And so we'll get into that in a different episode, but I was so trapped in this 9 to 5 cycle that I was so terrified to leave it. Like, I was so convinced that I was safe because I had a 401k, because I had a health insurance, vision insurance, dental insurance. But the fact of the matter is they're literally, that's their way of keeping you. That's their way of making you think that you're safe when they don't give a single fuck about you. They don't care. The turnover at the company was actually insane. Like, I was one of the longest standing employees there outside of the founders. And they do not care. The second that you stop doing what they want you to do, all right, see you later. Like, you are not safe. And especially in this day and age with AI, you can be replaced. You can be replaced from pretty much every single job outside of sales. Outside of sales and outside of personal branding, that's not even relevant to 9 to 5 though. So anyways, this is a very like heated topic for me because I feel very passionately about this, and I wish I never went to college. Like if high ticket sales was around which let me rephrase that. High ticket sales has always been a thing. There's always been premium products or services to be sold. But now it's even more apparent. It's even more of a demand because of the online space, because everyone's shifting to online education and wanting to learn from people who actually do what they teach. Plain and simple. I don't know about you, but my professor didn't know jack shit about anything. And we don't want to learn from people who don't actually, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. So, okay. The biggest problem that I see is this is with the women in my program too. I have 3 girls who are in college still. They're in like their last semester of college right now. And when they came to me, they were like, yeah, like I'm in college, but like I didn't want to go. I went because my parents like wanted me to, and they would have like, freaked out if I didn't go. And I understand because and this is to all the girls watching this too, who like have parents that are they're supportive. They may be supportive, but they just don't understand the way that the world is now evolved to, and want you to go the traditional route. So that is so normal. And the thing is that they grew up in a time where college was so necessary. Like, if you wanted to make money, like, you had to go to college, and there wasn't all these different ways to be educated and to learn skills and to learn directly from the source. So things have changed a lot. Our economy has shifted completely, and information is readily available everywhere. You can literally go on ChatGPT right now and find out pretty much everything that you ever need to know. But that's also limited, by the way. Sales, you need to learn from someone who actually has the skill, because sales is a job that can never be taken by AI. You need the human connection. You need to have real emotional intelligence, empathy, and to be able to give that level of trust to someone so that they can actually feel comfortable buying. So that's a plus though with high ticket sales, because you never are at risk of AI taking your job. Like, most of your 9 to 5 jobs can be taken and have been taken. So anyways, back to college. I have to make sure I stay on topic and don't do this whole ADHD thing where I start talking about something else. So really the moral of the story here is that if you feel, let's say you're in college right now, you feel like you are not meant to be there, like you are dreading graduating to be in a 9 to 5 job, you have a choice. You can literally say, I don't want to do this. I know that I'm going to be wasting time going through with this. I promise you that your parents just want to keep you safe. I promise you that there is another route. I promise you that when you listen to your gut and when you do what you know and what you're being called to do, you will never go wrong. With college too, can we think about this for a second? You go to college to get a bachelor's degree, it's minimum 4 years. You go to college for 4 years. In those 4 years, you are paying so much money. You pay for 4 years of college. You pay for hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college, or maybe a little bit less depending on where you go. And the entire time you're studying, you're learning these very basic curriculums from people who are not even doing what they're teaching. They're not even experts in what they're teaching. You pay all this money. You're just studying for that 4 years. You're not making money. If you're making money, you probably barely have any time to make it. Maybe you have like an on-site college or coffee shop job, like you're a barista or something. That's what I did. And during this 4 years, you're paying all this money. You're not able to actually make real money because your time is split between studying and between whatever, minimum wage job you're working to stay afloat or to have extra spending money so you can pay for alcohol and go party on the weekends instead of getting ahead, right? So you're spending all this time, you're spending all this money, and you come out and you are stuck finding a job that's super basic that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other applicants are applying for, and you're applying for a job that's going to underpay you, that's going to keep you paycheck to paycheck, that's going to keep you limited in what you truly want to do. And from there, you can move up in companies. You can move up, right? Because you have that degree. You can move up because you're technically qualified to do so, especially once you start proving yourself in said job. But you are still not going to, quote unquote, have financial freedom. You never will. You're going to be required to work a minimum 40 hours a week. If you're full-time, if you're part-time, you're probably not going to be making like any money at all. And you are binded to that job because you don't have another means to make money. You probably stay in that job because you are comfortable, because you think that it keeps you safe, because you have a 401k and you have insurance. And the whole lie, the corporate lie, so I say, is that that's the normal. That's what you have to do, right? No. That's not the truth. This is 2026. I know more than enough people who are multimillionaires now at the age of under 25 because they didn't go to college, because they learned skills that they needed, high income skills, in order to make money, in order to invest once they make that money and build a business or do sales. That's the truth. And nowadays, it's even easier to not go to college. It's so much easier to not go to college because information is no longer scarce. It's everywhere. You can find information no matter what you want to learn. You can get a high-level overview. You can get, certain details from ChatGPT in a matter of seconds. And then from there, you can learn directly from the source, like coaches, experts, and businesses that high-ticket sales closers close for or do sales for. And that's really the way to learn these days. So to sum up this entire first episode, it is that college was necessary when information was scarce, when you couldn't just go online and learn directly from the sources, that you can invest a fraction of what your one semester college tuition is going to be so you can learn the skill well directly from the source, and from there you can start making money and making more money than a 9-to-5 job would ever allow you to make. And from there, your 401k doesn't need to exist because you take the money that you earn from said skill, put it into investments, make your money work for you because you're going to learn how to do that in any high income skill that you learn. And from there, you don't need to have insurance because you will not even be thinking about how much money you're paying for insurance. And it's usually not that much more, by the way. I was still paying over $100 every single paycheck for my insurance. And then I still had to pay the, what is it called? Your premiums. I still had to pay the co-payment, whatever it's called. I don't even remember. And, and you're still paying for it. They're covering like a fraction of it just to make you feel safe. And when you're actually making the money to be able to pay for insurance on your own, you don't even think twice about it. And so the corporate lie is real. College is a scam these days. It's really necessary if you are going to become a doctor, a surgeon, or a lawyer. And anything in business, you do not need a college degree for it. It's only going to cost you money and time. If I can leave anyone with anything today, it is that please consider, if you are in college, what exactly you want when it comes to the quality of life, your goals, helping others, etc. And if you're thinking about going to college, maybe think twice.